Are your muscles feeling weaker as you age? Do simple activities like climbing stairs or lifting groceries feel harder than they used to? If you're over 60, this isn't just aging, it could be muscle loss. And the good news is you can fight it with food. In today's episode of Talk to the Doctor, we're diving into the top 5 foods proven to stop muscle loss, what nutrients you absolutely need after 60 to stay strong, and one common mistake older adults make that accelerates muscle wasting. So stick with us till the end. You might discover one food you've been overlooking that could change the way your body feels. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. And if you find any tips useful today, leave us a comment. We love hearing from you. And now, joining us is our resident expert, Dr. David Miller, a trusted voice in senior health and nutrition. Dr. Miller, welcome back.
Thank you, Emily. This is such an important topic. Muscle loss after 60 is common, but it's not inevitable. With the right foods and a bit of consistency, we can absolutely protect and even rebuild muscle strength. Let's get started.
Dr. Miller, let's start with the basics. Why does muscle loss happen so frequently after the age of 60? Is it just natural aging, or are there specific causes that people can address?
Excellent question, Emily. Muscle loss after 60 is extremely common, so much so that many people assume it's just a normal part of aging. But that's only partially true. The condition is called sarcopenia, and it's driven by multiple factors beyond just getting older. First, let's talk about protein metabolism. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to the signals that tell them to grow. This means your body needs more high-quality protein to maintain the same amount of muscle you had in your 30s or 40s. If you're not increasing your intake, or worse, reducing it, muscle tissue naturally begins to waste away. Then there's physical activity, or rather, the lack of it. Many older adults become less active due to joint pain, fear of injury, or limited mobility. Without regular use, particularly resistance or strength-based exercise, the body has no reason to maintain muscle mass. The phrase, use it or lose it, is absolutely true in this case. We also see hormonal shifts. Lower levels of testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone, which all play a role in muscle maintenance. Additionally, chronic inflammation, a common part of aging in diseases like diabetes or arthritis, can accelerate the breakdown of muscle tissue. Diet is another big piece of the puzzle. Older adults often eat less overall, either because of reduced appetite, dental issues, or difficulty cooking. That often means not getting enough essential nutrients, like vitamin D, calcium, and especially omega-3 fatty acids, which help protect and repair muscle. But here's the good news. Muscle loss after 60 is not inevitable. With the right diet, regular resistance training, and attention to protein intake, you can slow down and even reverse sarcopenia. That's why in today's episode, we'll be highlighting 5 foods that make a real difference. Because building stronger muscles can start with what's on your plate.
That's such a helpful breakdown, Dr. Miller. Now that we understand the root causes, let's talk about food. What are some specific foods that can actually help stop muscle loss or even build strength after 60?
Absolutely, Emily, and this is the part that gives people a real sense of control. There are several powerful foods that not only preserve muscle mass, but can also enhance strength and recovery, even later in life. Let's break down 5 of the most effective. 1. Eggs. These are a complete protein source, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot make on its own. Eggs are also rich in leucine, a specific amino acid that plays a major role in triggering muscle protein synthesis. For older adults, starting the day with eggs can give your muscles the jumpstart they need to rebuild. 2. Greek yogurt. It's higher in protein than regular yogurt and also contains calcium and vitamin D, which are critical for muscle contraction and bone health. What's more, Greek yogurt includes both fast and slow digesting proteins, which help with long-term muscle maintenance, especially overnight. 3. Salmon. This fatty fish is packed with high-quality protein and omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory and have been shown in studies to not only slow down muscle loss, but even enhance the muscle-building response to resistance training in older adults. It's a fantastic food for anyone over 60 looking to build or maintain muscle. 4. Lentils and beans. For those who are vegetarian or just want to cut back on meat, lentils are an excellent plant-based protein. They're also rich in iron, zinc, and B vitamins, all essential for muscle function and energy production. Pair them with whole grains like quinoa for a complete protein profile. 5. Cottage cheese. This often overlooked food is a powerhouse for muscle health. It contains casein, a slow-digesting protein that feeds muscles over time. It's perfect as an evening snack, helping to maintain muscle repair while you sleep. It also has calcium and B12, both of which are essential in muscle nerve signaling and strength. Each of these foods works in a different way, whether it's supplying amino acids, supporting bone health, or reducing inflammation. When you combine them with even modest amounts of physical activity, the results can be truly transformative. And the best part is, these are affordable, accessible foods that don't require fancy cooking. Just a few adjustments in your weekly meals can go a long way towards keeping your muscles strong, flexible, and resilient well beyond your 60s.
That's such a helpful breakdown, Dr. Miller. Now, let's say someone is already experiencing noticeable muscle weakness. Maybe they've lost some weight unintentionally or struggle with balance. Can these foods still help, or is it too late to reverse muscle loss after 60?
That's an incredibly important question, Emily, and it's one I hear often. The short answer is no, it is absolutely not too late. Muscle is what we call a plastic tissue, which means it can respond and adapt at almost any age, including well into our 70s or 80s. But to reverse muscle loss, we need to be both intentional and consistent with our approach. Let's start with nutrition. If someone is already experiencing muscle weakness, their protein needs are actually higher than the average healthy adult. Research shows that older adults who are rebuilding muscle should aim for at least 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, spread throughout the day. That's more than most people eat by default, so conscious meal planning is key. In this case, high-quality protein sources become essential. Lean meats, dairy, legumes, tofu, and especially whey protein supplements if appetite is an issue. Whey protein is fast-absorbing and rich in leucine, which directly triggers muscle repair. I often recommend a small shake post-exercise or between meals for patients who are struggling with eating enough. Next, timing matters. The body is most responsive to protein in the hours after activity. Pairing a resistance exercise like body weight squats or light resistance bands with a protein-rich snack within 30 to 60 minutes can maximize muscle synthesis. Micronutrients play a role too. Vitamin D deficiency is linked to poor muscle strength, and many seniors are low in it due to limited sun exposure. Ensuring adequate intake through fortified foods or supplements can help with both muscle and bone health. And creatine, though often associated with athletes, has also been shown to benefit older adults by improving strength and muscle mass, particularly when combined with strength training. So even if someone feels like they're already far along in muscle loss, there's absolutely a path back. It won't happen overnight, but with a combination of nutrient-dense foods, smart supplementation, and gentle strength-building movement, they can regain function, reduce fall risk, and dramatically improve their independence and quality of life.
That's very encouraging, Dr. Miller. Now, a lot of our listeners have asked whether simply eating more protein is enough. Does the type of protein matter when it comes to preserving muscle? And how can older adults make sure they're actually absorbing and using that protein effectively?
That's an excellent point, Emily, and it's one that often gets overlooked. Eating more protein is important, yes, but not all proteins are created equal, and how your body absorbs and utilizes that protein becomes more critical as we age. Let's first talk about protein quality. Complete proteins, those that contain all 9 essential amino acids, are more effective at stimulating muscle protein synthesis. These are typically found in animal-based sources like meat, dairy, eggs, and fish. Among them, whey protein stands out as the most effective because it's rapidly absorbed and rich in leucine, the amino acid that acts like a spark plug for muscle growth. That said, plant-based proteins can absolutely support muscle health too. They just need to be combined thoughtfully. For example, pairing rice and beans or lentils with whole grains creates a complete amino acid profile. For vegetarians, adding tofu, tempeh, edamame, or soy milk can provide a strong foundation of protein. Now, about absorption, this is where aging throws us a curveball. As we get older, our digestion slows down and our muscles become less responsive to the signals that normally tell them to grow. This phenomenon is called anabolic resistance. To overcome it, seniors often need more protein per meal, about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein, to stimulate the same muscle-building response that a younger person would get with less. Spacing protein throughout the day also matters. Many people eat most of their protein at dinner, but it's more effective to distribute it across breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For instance, a protein-rich breakfast with eggs or Greek yogurt, a lunch with tuna or beans, and a dinner with chicken or tofu can keep your body in a steady muscle-maintaining mode. Lastly, don't underestimate the importance of vitamin B12. Which helps with protein metabolism and is harder to absorb with age. Many older adults are deficient, so a B12 supplement or fortified foods may be helpful. In short, yes, protein type, amount, timing, and nutrient support all matter. When combined, they can dramatically improve how effectively older adults maintain and build muscle, even well after 60.
That's such practical advice. Now, for our final expert question, what about drinks? Are there drinks that support muscle health or others we should avoid because they might actually worsen muscle loss?
That's a great way to round things out, Emily. Beverages are often the silent contributors, both positively and negatively, when it comes to muscle health. Let's look at the ones that help first, and then we'll touch on those that hinder. One of the most beneficial drinks for muscle maintenance is low-fat milk, or plant-based milk fortified with protein and calcium, like soy or pea protein milk. These offer a good balance of protein, calcium, and vitamin D, which all support muscle function and prevent deterioration. Milk also contains leucine, one of the key amino acids for muscle repair. Another underrated hero is water. Dehydration, even mild, can impair muscle performance and recovery. Older adults tend to have a weaker thirst signal, meaning they don't always realize when they're dehydrated. Drinking enough water throughout the day helps with nutrient delivery, joint lubrication, and muscle recovery, especially after exercise. Protein shakes or smoothies can also be a great tool, particularly when someone has a reduced appetite or trouble chewing. These can be made with whey, pea, or casein protein powders and mixed with fruits, greens, nut butters, or oats for extra calories and nutrients. They're especially helpful after a workout or between meals to increase daily protein intake. Now, on the flip side, let's talk about what to watch out for. Sugary drinks like soda, sweetened iced tea, and energy drinks are loaded with empty calories and have zero nutritional value for muscle health. In fact, excessive sugar intake contributes to inflammation, insulin resistance, and fat gain, all of which can worsen muscle loss over time. Alcohol is another concern. While moderate consumption might be okay for some, regular or heavy drinking interferes with protein synthesis, impairs nutrient absorption, especially B vitamins and magnesium, and can even lead to muscle breakdown. It's also a fall risk enhancer, which is a major concern for older adults with already weakened muscles. Finally, caffeinated drinks like coffee or tea are fine in moderation and can even be beneficial due to their antioxidant content. However, if they're displaced more nutritious beverages or are consumed with a lot of added sugar or cream, they lose their benefits. So in summary,
Hydrate consistently, lean into protein and nutrient-rich beverages, and limit sugary or alcoholic beverages. Making smart choices with what you drink can absolutely support stronger, more resilient muscles after 60.
Now it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show, listener questions. These come straight from viewers like you who've written in with thoughtful and personal questions. Let's dive into the first one. This question comes from John R., 67 years old, from Tampa, Florida. He writes, Dr. Miller, I've recently lost about 10 pounds without trying, and I've noticed my legs feel weaker when I walk upstairs. I try to eat well, but I'm not sure what's missing. Could this be muscle loss? And what should I do first?
John, thank you for such a real and relatable question. And yes, what you're describing could very well be sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss. Unintended weight loss after 60 is often a red flag, especially when it comes with decreased strength or mobility. In your case, the legs are often the first to show signs of muscle weakness, since they bear the brunt of daily movement. The first step is to get a proper checkup. Ask your doctor to assess your muscle mass and nutritional status. In the meantime, start with protein-rich foods at every meal. Eggs for breakfast, beans or fish for lunch, and a lean protein like chicken or lentils for dinner. Don't forget a strength-based exercise routine a few times a week. Bodyweight squats, heel raises, or using resistance bands can go a long way. You might also consider a protein supplement if your appetite is low. With a targeted approach, you can absolutely regain strength and energy.
Our next question is from Sandra P., 72, in Sacramento, California. She asks, I keep hearing about protein powders for seniors. Are they really necessary? And are there any brands or types you'd recommend for someone with a sensitive stomach?
Great question, Sandra. And the short answer is protein powders are not required, but they can be extremely helpful for many older adults, especially those who don't get enough protein from food or have difficulty chewing or digesting large meals. For sensitive stomachs, I recommend starting with a whey isolate protein. It's easier to digest than whey concentrate and has minimal lactose. Plant-based proteins like pea or rice protein are also great options. Look for a brand that has no added sugars or artificial sweeteners, and ideally one that includes a dose of leucine. That's the amino acid most important for muscle maintenance. Powders are convenient and can be blended into smoothies with bananas, oats, or almond milk for extra calories and nutrients. They're especially helpful after a workout or between meals to increase daily protein intake.
Dr. Miller, once again, thank you so much for walking us through this vital topic today. I know so many of our listeners over 60 worry about getting weaker or losing independence, but your message today is empowering. We can stay strong, starting with what we eat. And to everyone tuning in, what was your biggest takeaway? Was it the power of eggs, the benefits of Greek yogurt, or maybe the warning signs of muscle loss you hadn't considered before? Let us know in the comments below. If you found today's episode helpful, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss future talks packed with practical, science-backed tips just for you. Until next time, take care of your body, nourish it with the right foods, and as always, stay strong. We'll see you soon on another episode of Talk to the Doctor.